All right, everybody, it's Brandon Klayman, and we are going to get started in a couple of minutes. I'll just wait for people to enter the room. And if you can just let me know, first of all, can you hear me? Raise your hand or send a chat. Let's get the systems up and running. We're going to spend an hour together, so I want to make sure we all have a good time here. Welcome. Thank you, Erica. Good to see you again. And there's Anya, and cool. So you can hear me, you can see me. Can you see the screen? We're just doing some system maintenance before we dive into this webinar. All right, so real quick, Anya, can you see the screen? Making sense of online marketing? You can raise your hand, or you can use chat. Awesome. Thanks, Cheryl. Okay, we're going to just dive right into this. We've got about an hour or so together, and I'm excited. This is the first time I'm doing this one, making sense of online marketing. So today is August the 26th, 2021. Hopefully you're all enjoying your summer. This is Brandon Klayman from Conscious Commerce. I'm the founder and president, and I have been developing digital marketing campaigns since 2004, and Conscious Commerce Corporation is a top-rated worldwide agency. We're an award-winning agency, and yeah, just a lot of strategy, a lot of ideas. Love to share that with people and clients and prospects. And one of the things that we do is we essentially get on a conversation through a Zoom session and just do an audit, just really figure out where you're at and where you want to go. So this is something that we always end up starting with, because it's really important to just simply get to know each other, understand a little bit more about digital, and do those kinds of cool things. So if you ever do want to book a meeting with me, it's completely complimentary, and it's a 40-minute session. So I just sent you guys a link right there. Some of the things we do are here as well. We don't do everything in digital, but we really do focus on a lot of search engine optimization and search engine marketing, and a lot of email marketing, website design, all that good stuff. Today we got another beautiful testimonial that came in from a happy client, and that's amazing. That's what makes me happy, is not just good-looking websites, but websites that perform. So let's just dive into this. I'm going to go through a lot of slides with you guys today. So if I'm going too quick, let me know. If you have any questions at any time, just ask. I've got all the windows open for questions and chatting. And if you'd like a copy of this, you can definitely get a copy of this recording. As well, I'm going to send you really quick a file. This is included with this presentation. It's part of it's the worksheet. So it's a little PDF file that I'm sending down to people who are here and attending. All right, guys, so here's some of the facts. Why is online marketing an opportunity? Well, 69% of people are searching for local businesses at least one time a month. I mean, how many of you have done that or are doing that? I mean, I don't even think this stat is really accurate, to be honest with you, because I think there's more. And 43% are experiencing growth, and you know, online is really now the new normal. It's just something that is all part of everyday life. You know, we all have some kind of connection to digital reality, internet, connectivity, and all of our devices are connected. So we're pretty much always online. The crazy thing is that a lot of small businesses don't have websites. I'm laughing because I just think it's a joke. I think that anybody who has a website, or sorry, has a business, should have some type of presence, some form of online something. And it shocks me to still find out that there's companies out there that could be operated for years without an actual presence. So why aren't more businesses online? Like, what's going on here? So when we look at the numbers, It's largely about, I think, people's beliefs in digital. You can see here 40%, they don't think that they're relevant, like in terms of tools or online presence, or that they're just simply not effective. I find a lot of the time that our, prospects just don't understand, they just don't have enough experience. And that's where you've got 58% of those people really just don't know what it is. It's just foreign to them and really challenging to kind of, align with this way of doing business. So that's something definitely to, to factor in. I mean, these are all opportunities, I think, for everybody to grow and develop and evolve their business. So today we're going to go over a few things. We're going to cover a variety of different channels, and we're going to dive into, I'd say, on a more higher level. Today you're going to see a variety of different sort of slides and that connect in with different marketing channels. And this content is more for like intermediate, beginner, somewhere between beginner and intermediate marketers. So if you guys have any questions at any time, just ask in terms of whatever you want. It's cool. I've got 30 years behind me in this industry and a lot of awards and recognition. So happy to share that knowledge with you. So we're going to go over these 5 key areas: getting found, staying connected with your clients and customers, creating a plan for repeat business, encouraging interaction, engagements, and obviously you got to measure that success. That's really a critical component to, really knowing where you stand with everything. So today we're going to focus on how you get found and how you get set up for success, and how does it all come together. All right. So businesses today are totally built on relationships. Does everyone agree? The foundation of business is relationships. Even right now, I'm trying to establish a relationship with you guys. And thank you for participating and showing up and being here. Feel free to raise your hand anytime I'm asking questions, or if you want to interact, you can use the chat questions. So how do you get found online? Well, guess what? Word of mouth happens online, and you can see that right here with these reviews. You have a variety of different channels and platforms out there. And a lot of the time you'll see that your referrals can come through these word of mouth channels, but they're digital. It's not just, friends and family talking about your business anymore on phones or in person. A lot more of it now happens pretty much online. And most companies have, 2 or 3 online profiles, and that's where you can see those reviews taking place. It's really, really important for you to get visibility online, and really, if they search for your business, are you getting found? Do you have visibility? That's kind of the beginning of it all, and that's why we're starting here. So if you look at this particular slide, you'll see, doing a search for Conscious Commerce Corporation, we have a paid ad going, we have an organic results, and then we have Google My Business as well, which is also organic. So it's easy to find us. We're paying Google to make sure we're #1 for our company name. That's called a brand defense strategy, and using paid ads on Google advertising. We're certified partners with them. And then you have your organic, and then you have your GMB, we call that Google My Business. So I think it's really critical that you search your own company and just kind of see what those results look like. As well, you have other links that connect in with your profile, and we have social media. You see our LinkedIn company page, and then we have reviews coming through, which is another sort of online directory source. So there's lots of ways that our clients and prospects can find us, and hopefully you guys have something similar set up for yourselves. If you're essentially not taking initiative to create these profiles, then you're basically never going to be found. So it really just starts with that. Let's have a little closer look here at this search term. So keep in mind, when people are online, and they aren't directly looking for you, we're going to use this as an example. So cheese shops near me, and here's some of the search results. And this is an example, a client example, Concord Cheese Shop. So you can see here, the first results are the Google My business listing. This is it right here. Really, really critical component. We do a lot of work here at Conscious Commerce with our clients with Google My Business because of how important it is. And look how many results came through, like 600 million results for that. So really, really competitive space. And it's important to recognize that you can get ranking, you can get to the top. You just simply need to be able to pull together all of these profiles and make that happen. So you have all of this going on here with regards to these different like you can see there's the organic position for the third link. You have Yelp, and then there's some other other links out there contributing. So then when somebody does click on your link, are they getting what they actually are looking for? And that's the whole entire challenge that Google has in its world in terms of trying to connect people's raw and real search, their organic searching, their search intent, search phrases, keywords, and all that stuff, to serving up really good quality content, relevant content that's actually going to connect and help that searcher find exactly what they're looking for. While people are looking for you online, they're going to be looking at all of your profiles, depending on what they're buying and what, where they're at in their purchasing decision. They're going to utilize all the possible spaces that you exist on to form their opinion of you. What are others saying? Are you paying attention to what they're saying about you? We just got a question coming in from Anya. Thank you. So does having a GMB listing help my search ranking? 100% yes. So the starting point of doing SEO locally is to have a Google My Business listing. So 100% yes. Good question. Thanks for asking. So back to the paying attention piece. Speaking of Google My Business, it's really important to have a strong presence on Google My Business, but also making sure that your profile is completely up to date, and that if somebody's giving you a review, you need to respond to that review as soon as you can, so that you're not only letting the client know that you've received it and you're grateful for that, but also Google's tracking your responsiveness, because they don't really know how responsive you are in real life, but they can sure look at your responsiveness on this profile. So you really want to see from that perspective, they want to see that you're getting to these reviews as quickly as you can. It's sort of a sign of service levels, and so that's the same here on Yelp and all these other profiles, even Facebook too. They're tracking sort of like the time it takes to respond. So getting found online is about creating relationships. It's part of this process here of recognizing that it's not all about in person anymore. It's about having an online relationship experience with your clients. We're doing a lot more now with our clients, doing live chat, real-time engagements, a variety of different channels are starting to really light up, because people are depending a lot more on utilizing digital properties to conduct business on a regular basis. So, looking at these tools and how does it all come together, you have these specific areas that need to really be focused on. And I think that it's important for everybody to pay attention. And that worksheet that you have, that file I gave you, outlines for you a series of things you can do to just kind of go through that process and see where you're at with your own business. So building mobile websites or responsive mobile websites, definitely a focal point, really, really important. Email marketing, making sure your social profiles are up to speed, and that your information and all your business listings, like Google My Business piece, is also up to date, along with any other online listings. Those are called local citations. And then we have also your content, like how is the content on your website, so that these are some of the elements to look at around your overall digital health, and your well-being. So Google, and I mentioned Google a lot because really they're the largest search engine in the world, and it's really the one that we put a lot of energy and emphasis into. So when you're looking at your website design, you want to make sure that you have created this for mobile first, meaning that you have to expect that the users coming to your site, majority of them are going to be on their phone. And is the website designed specifically to engage them on their devices? And then the rest of the design you can obviously develop for general web or desktop computers and things like that, or tablets. Majority of the transactions that take place today are from your phone. I mean, think about the last time you placed an order. Where was it? Your phone. So your homepage, when you look at your website, you definitely need to obviously convey what you do. So products and services that you're offering, who's it for? What are the benefits and the features of these products and services? And think about, when you're looking at the creation of your website, you have to look at the call to actions. So these are just basic little tips for you when you're creating your site, whether we do it for you or you do it on your own. You want to look at those possibilities for sure. Also, just going to throw out there my LinkedIn email or LinkedIn address. If you want to connect with me, by all means, go for it. So back to web and design. It's really cool if you're able to convey your story. A lot of the time now, people are starting to do that on video. So what's your story? What was your, how were you created as a company? What are some of the cool things about your business? What makes you unique? What makes you stand out? It's important to always have some kind of differentiator out there. Even if you're in like a commodity type business and you're doing a lot of the same things a lot of other people are doing, there has to be some uniqueness, in the way that you approach business. So definitely want people to know that. I think it's really important. In terms of your website, you definitely need to have things like, if you're a retail location, have a map, make it easy for people to find you, have contact forms, your phone number. A lot of the time for our web design process, we have like buttons that people can click on to call you, text you, email you, fill out contact forms, schedule appointments, do live chat, place orders, the list goes on. They're called engagements. So you definitely want to make sure you have a nicely dialed in site that allows for that to happen. Images, again, using visual images for showing success, showing, kind of like real-time interactions that you're having with your customers, products and services. I always find in that department, a lot of the time you see that there's just not a lot of good quality photos taken. So, if you're selling something that maybe you manufactured, or, even just reselling things, it doesn't really matter. Just try and find the best quality images you can get your hands on. Definitely useful there. Show physical location. That also is helpful. Back to Google My Business. Why is it so important? It's because that's basically Google's like virtual digital connection to the real world. And so what we feed into Google My Business in the form of photos and information on your listing, it gives people who are searching for you a visual digital experience, like visually, to see what is going on over there before they kind of like go to your store location. So it's important to stay as accurate as you can, as consistent as you can with all these online digital profiles. The other thing you're going to want to do on your website, absolutely have an email marketing newsletter set up. Makes sense to at least start at once a month doing newsletters. Really, really critical there. And when you set that up, your first email could be simply a welcome campaign. If you're selling anything online, then you can do a coupon. Then I would say the second email, if you're going to do an automation campaign, then you definitely want them connecting with your other profiles so that you can send them off to social. So let's say you stay active on Facebook, drive them over to Facebook, get them to connect with you there. So you can see this all starting to come together. You build your website, make it engaging, you get the newsletter going, you tie that into the website, so you've got, a way to continually re-engage your audience. And this is that once a month. You always want to be looking at doing promos. You want to do helpful resources. Our newsletter went out today, and we promoted this event. We got a bunch of new signups, and that's great. And here you are. So obviously that worked, and it's an effective channel. Email marketing is definitely one of my favorites. Back to all of those different channels, And when you're making those connections in your, like if you're inviting someone to, follow you on social, to protect your brand, you're most likely going to want to just simply acquire all of these different profiles. They're mostly free. So things like, Pinterest and Yelp and Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and WhatsApp, even Apple Business Chat is available now. So you can go and Google My Business. You can go and get those properties and then work on them as you have time. But ultimately, you want to protect your brand and make sure that, you are owning those properties. And if you look more closely at these social channels, you can see like on Facebook, your business page, you're going to be kind of like competing with, your friends and their friends, and family news and kind of like that. That's what takes place on Facebook. With Twitter, it's more open and more public news. A lot of chatting going on in that space. A lot of brands are actually on Twitter, more so, and people follow those brands. LinkedIn is geared more towards professional networking, and Instagram is video and photos, more video coming down the pipeline in Instagram. So a lot more visual. And so if you look at all these different channels, you can kind of figure out, including like YouTube. YouTube's educational entertainment. And then Pinterest is just more visual tips and ideas. But ultimately, looking at them all, get your profile set up for each one, even if you're not going to be driving a lot of engagement on one particular channel. Let's say Pinterest isn't your thing. That's okay. You can still have it. It gives you a backlink and it gives you some authority with Google. The key too with these different channels is to make sure that you're adapting your content as well as your strategy to and what you say and how you say it and what you're like utilizing the platform's inherent like abilities like that it has, like things like hashtags and sort of the amount of content that you can put. It's important to utilize the specific features in each of one of these channels so that you're adapting your communication to adhere to their standards. So with Twitter, it's a lot less. You need to use kind of like short form, and as well then with Facebook, you've got a lot more room there. You can see the difference here with, on the left, you've got Facebook, and actually that's LinkedIn. And that is showing us, an embedded video. Whereas like with, when you look at Twitter, you don't really have like as much real estate there. So you definitely want to, make sure that your posts are suited for the channel. One sort of cautionary thing, as you're moving forward in digital and you're starting to ramp up and you're building everything, you might feel overwhelmed. So what you want to do is make sure that you're focusing as much as you can on delivering value to the channels and not overdoing it. So if you're just getting started, doing one post a week is fine. Eventually you'll get the hang of it and you'll want to do like 3 or 4. And then you ultimately can then pick a channel of your choice and really drive that forward. Got another question here. Okay, Eric, yeah, I'll send you a link that you can use. In fact, here is the replay link that you can use. So if you register here, then you can just scroll down to the bottom and then you'll see the option to watch the replay. So I'll be able to give you this video once it's finished being recorded, and then you can have access to that. Another question here, do you generally post the same thing to all of your channels or different content layout for each one? So you know what, ideally, again, for small business or even larger enterprise, you need to look at kind of like, your overall monthly strategy, your content, your focus, promotions, your blog content, all that stuff. And I would suggest that you would compress the content and utilize the same content for each channel, because that will also create consistency and messaging consistency. If you have a huge following in one particular channel, and then you might need to be more tailoring to that specific channel with different kinds of media. So you could have like more visual or video on one, whereas you could have on Twitter like more texting kind of style. So it does depend, but ultimately, I would say for a starting point, definitely want to just stick to the same content moving forward. That link I just gave you guys is the replay link, and also you can register for our next event in September. So here you can see just with regards to reviews as well. Most of the reviews you'll see coming through Facebook, Google My Business, Yelp, and those are some of the core areas online that you definitely want to claim and make sure that you are working those profiles. You want to make sure that if somebody contacts you, you're going to respond to them. So let's talk about content. If you really want to get found online from Google, then you need to have quality content. It's not so much about the volume of your content, but it's the quality of that content to make sure that you have relevant and sort of well thought out, well researched information that someone will value as a resource. So if you come across as a resource, then they'll most likely come back. And I'm just going to give you my blog at Conscious Commerce. And we posted this month several different articles. One of them's on local SEO. There's one on website design trends, and then there's email marketing tips. So we're hitting each channel because we're specialists in each one. And we think it's valuable content because we've taken the time to curate that and add our best practices and do our research. So you really want to make sure that you're adding that quality content so that you can get found organically, because guess what? Organic traffic is the highest source of traffic in terms of quality anywhere. It's just one of the best ways, because when somebody naturally searches, then finds what they're looking for without being distracted by an ad, then they feel like they've won something. It's like, yay, I finally found what I was looking for without all these extra ads in my face and everything like that. And so you feel a little bit more connected to the search results. I know that kind of might sound weird, but that's what really happens. And that emotional connection is what increases the ability for trust to take place. And that trust converts into transactions. So that's why your content's really important. We do a lot of SEO here at Conscious Commerce for our clients. And so they trust us to make sure we're sending them in the right direction. And just recently, yesterday, I looked at some results for one of our clients, and every one of the keywords that we're focusing on for them, they're on page 1. And I said to her, okay, well, now it's time to expand. And even though they're busy, it's great, but we can continue expanding the amount of keywords because you want to continually dominate online as best you can. Blogging is a good idea, but it's not the number one thing you need to be doing around content. A lot of people think, oh, if I just build a blog, I'm gonna get a bunch of traffic. That's not how it works. Again, quality, and how much of that quality relates to your audience, and how much of that are you really taking the time. You just need to take the time to really flush things out. So if you have, for example, like a service page, then add an FAQ. Build up the current pages you have on your site, and then you can do, like, once all that's done, then you can start focusing on blogs. And then as well, like, you don't have to do a lot of blogging. You could do one or two blogs a month, but you can also expand those blogs. So if you do 1,000 keywords or so, like a 1,000-word blog, it's better to do that than to do like 4 500-word blogs. So you have 2 1,000-word versus 4 500, because then it has a higher chance, if the content is quality, then it's more of a resource. It's more taken more seriously, because it potentially has more information that's useful, more facts, and more ways to educate the user in the form of a resource. If you want to continue growing and expanding your online presence, then another thing you can do is paid advertising. And this is also something we do a lot here at Conscious Commerce. It's an incredibly lucrative channel for a lot of our clients. In fact, some of them just do paid ads. They don't do anything else. And you can do things on Google where you can really target and focus based on location, based on what their search is. And you can develop and create ads and ad campaigns on a regular basis to drive traffic to targeted pages on your site. And by having all of that, you can increase your conversions, you can increase sales. And so one of the things we do here a lot is take the time to look at all the metrics. So because otherwise, what's the point of doing this? If you just throw stuff out there and you don't recognize the the ROI, then you don't really know what's going on, and then you don't have that awareness. So big part of what we do here is make sure that the ROI is in check. I've got a call later today. Ironically, he is an optometrist and he needs to have the insight to know whether or not he's winning with organic search. So I'll have that call with Tom later. Here's a link as well, guys, to all of our reviews. And so yeah, you can have a look at all of our reviews online. Most recently, one just came in yesterday from a really cool property management company. So we track metrics, we track engagements. We do a lot of that through Google Analytics because that's where the facts are. And it's really important to recognize, again, are you winning online or not? So back to your website, you want to make sure you're creating your web as a resource as best you can. Doesn't always work that way, but there are moments that you can incorporate a section of the website. Doesn't have to be the whole thing, but you definitely want some kind of resource, some form of quality. You want to look at those other social channels and other profiles to try and drive traffic. The more you have links pointing back to your site, the higher chance you have of getting more traffic, because you'll end up with more referring traffic. And then when you get that traffic, making sure that people are able to engage you, book you, sign up for your newsletter, do some e-commerce, fill out a contact form, make yourself accessible online so that you can actually incorporate a much more effective strategy. So this is a cool slide to show you kind of like how everything comes together. So you have, you originally will connect with people, you have prospects, you have clients. So starting from scratch, you have a prospect and then they turn into a client. Your goal, everyone's goal is to create a wow experience with that client, consistently delivering wow experiences over and over and over and over and over again. If you continue to do that, you will create an opportunity to get referrals, get more business, which is obvious, but also once you've made them happy, they'll want to continue to stay in touch with you. They may not buy from you every day and every week, every month, every year, but you can send them newsletters, you can send social, you can send them opportunities to engage you, to stay connected with you, give them articles, give them resources. There's all kinds of opportunities that occur in between transactions. That's part of that relationship connection I was telling you about earlier. Get on calls with them, say hello, check in. So what happens is through this enticement process, you engage them, the cycle continues, you get more prospects or new leads, new opportunities. And you can see here that if you're on social, you'll drive some social visibility, which is really good, increasing overall exposure to your business. And so you're consistently expanding your reach, you're expanding your exposure. So you keep creating those wow experiences and it just amplifies everything for you. And that's kind of the cycle of engagement here. This slide has been evolved over the years. It hasn't changed much, but I presented this slide specifically like 100 times. So it's cool how you can see this process come to life. And it's important to remember that. Always think, you get a prospect, your goal, wow them. From that wow, stay connected with them. From that connection, you expand exposure, to your business through connecting with them on all the different channels. And then the process repeats. So really, really important stuff there. And essentially, these are the tools that that Constant Contact provides. They're one of our partners, and they've helped me with this content. And what I would suggest is if you're not already a client of Constant Contact, you want to give it a shot. There's no hard sales pitch here on this call. I don't have time for that. But if you want to give Constant Contact a try, go for it. If you want me to specifically work with you directly, then you can book me, or we can do a demo together of Constant Contact if you're interested. Over the years, the product has evolved into more of an online digital marketing platform that has a bunch of different tools. A lot of the things we discussed today are included inside of the subscription for you to do all of those things, from paid ads to building your website to e-com, obviously email marketing, and even logos and stuff. So there's a lot of cool offerings inside the platform if you want to give it a try, by all means. My preference, to be honest with you, is for you really just to connect with me directly. So if you want to book me, go for it. I'm not going to sit on there and do a sales pitch. What I'm going to do is identify what your opportunity now emerging is. Really try to figure out your path forward with digital, get an audit and figure out where you're currently at, and then provide you with a bunch of ideas and strategy to help you move forward. And at that point, you might say, hey, can you do some of this for me? Sure, I can work with you. We can create a proposal. That's when things could look like a sale or will be a sale, but really the purpose of connecting in the initial consult is really to figure out what is your path forward in the form of a digital strategy. So that's what our managed account program is. That's my offer to you today. Feel free to book me directly. It's a 40-minute call. We'll also look at your products that you are utilizing. So if you are using Constant Contact, great. I'll show you a few tricks and tips. I'm a certified partner with them. I was actually the first certified partner in the world. We are still the top rated partner worldwide. Here's a screenshot of our blog. I gave you guys a link for that. Would love for you to read some of our articles. These ones were just published a couple days ago. Have a look. There's going to be some cool things for you there, and you can take that best practice and run with it. Last but not least, before we end this session, next month we're doing a whole webinar on subject lines and how to create great subject lines. I love doing this webinar. It's really, really valuable. And if you're doing email marketing, you're always going to want to try and figure out a better way to increase the open rate because you want more clicks. So I'll send you guys a link for that one too. And that allows you to register for that next event. And if anybody has any questions, now's a good time to ask because we're pretty much wrapping up here. So if you have any other questions, feel free to ask away. If not, I'll wait just for another 30 seconds or more. And if you don't have any other questions, then we'll end this one. Hopefully you guys learned a few things. I told you it's going to be more high level, not too detailed. Didn't want to overwhelm you. Thanks, Erica. Always such great content. Thank you so much. I love the idea of subject line course. Yeah, join me for next month. And Anya, thanks for joining. Thank you, La, and we'll wrap it up. So thanks very much. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Stay safe out there, guys, and enjoy the rest of your summer. Take care. And again, it's Brandon Klayman from Conscious Commerce. Bye.